Hey guys, what's going on? It's Don here from Novaspirit Tech and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be converting this TS-253D into a desktop PC, or a mini desktop PC as you would say. So let's get started. Now, one of the things that I recently discovered about this guy, or actually most NASs that I have right now, is that it is actually running a normal desktop PC type setup inside. And if you are able to get ones from QNAP or TerraMaster, they actually have the HDMI output, which allows you to actually see the BIOS screen and all that stuff. And with that in mind, you'll be able to boot into the BIOS and essentially install Windows, Linux, or whatever you want onto one of these little NASs. Now, disclaimer, there is a partition in there, which I don't know which one for your model, depending if you're using a QNAP or a TerraMaster or whatever it is, that you cannot delete because I can't recover it back for you. There's one partition basically with the QNAP OS on there. And for this one, it's basically on an SD card that is built inside, and I don't have the operating system to restore it back into place. Maybe you could go to QNAP and have some sort of restore utility that they might be able to restore the operating system. But for now, try to avoid that little disk image when you're installing. And again, be careful when you're going through what boot options, what installer, etc., etc. So this is my main disclaimer for you guys to be careful when you're formatting this guy, because you might format the wrong partition and that might be the actual operating system of this. Now, moving forward, one of these guys generally have an Intel or a Ryzen CPU. And if you do have something like that with an Intel Celeron or even the AMD embedded Ryzen 1500s, you are able to move through this step and install the desktop, especially if you have something with the HDMI output. Now, for the Synology, which is the only one that I have not tested, is because they don't have HDMI output like that you find on these guys or on the TerraMaster. So I don't even want to attempt to see what I need to do to get that to boot, even though they have the same similar CPU and all. And I know that it could probably boot into like a Windows 10 or Linux. I just don't have the HDMI output. Moving forward, what I'm going to do is actually put two installation disks in here. One is the SSD that I'm going to just slap into one of these bays. And the second one, I have a 4X PCIe card that I can slap in here for NVMe storage. So I'm going to be installing it on NVMe, but I want to make sure that I'm able to detect not only the NVMe and also the SSD. Now, if you own the QNAP system, it's very basic to take it apart. Just need to remove these bays. Technically, you don't even need to remove these bays because it doesn't get in the way of anything, but you can remove these bays. So you have an SSD in there already. I'm just showing you the reverse process of what I did. There should be 3 screws in the back, top, bottom, and I think one off. Nope, I'm lying. There's just top and bottom. Take those 2 screws off, slide that back a little, and this comes off. Now you have access to the inside. Now from here, there is the RAM slot on the bottom, so you can add an extra set of RAM, and there's also RAM slot right over here. Then on top, I actually installed the 4X PCIe card with the Samsung Evo 960 into the slot. I just want to make sure I'm able to use any type of storage possible, whether it's being NVMe or SSD from the factory mounts. And basically what I did was install this card, install the SSD in slot 0 or slot 1, one of these slots that I installed it in, and that is it. I didn't even upgrade the RAM. I do have RAM to upgrade. I could probably get this to 8 gigabytes, but this is more of a proof of concept to make sure that this does work and there's no like secure boot or locking something down where I can't install other operating systems. But that is it. Reverse the process of the case removal. Literally, if you are planning to upgrade the RAM or install the NVMe like I did, then you will really need to take it apart. Otherwise, you don't even need to take this apart. You could just slap in an SSD into one of these trays and install your operating system on the SSD. Alright, so here we are at the BIOS screen. All you have to do is just keep hitting delete as soon as you power on the device, and it'll bring you to the screen. It's a standard BIOS that you would see, and once you see this, you know you're good to go for installing operating systems onto your NAS. Now, it doesn't have much configurations you could do, but one of the things you can do is enable Intel VT or IVT or Intel virtualization, which allows you to run VMs. Now, going into your hardware monitor, again, not much stuff going on here. Chipset, that's it. Security, you could turn on your password for your BIOS, and then here is your boot options, which you will have to come back to change after you install the operating system. Now, I already have Pop! OS installed on here, so I don't have to go through this process, but you're going to see this one operating system called QNAP OS, which is something you want to completely avoid because you don't want to wipe that one out. That is usually the one that is boot number 1 when you first pop into this, so you kind of want to just move it around so you don't accidentally delete that. And then in the save and exit, this is where you would do your boot override to jump into your SanDisk, or in my case, the USB, to install Pop! OS into this guy. So I'm going to show you right over here what happens when I pop into the UEFI for the SanDisk. It brings me into my Ventor utility, and then I could pop into my Pop! OS installer. Now, installing this guy is pretty standard. They've gotten to a point where installing Linux operating systems are pretty much straightforward. You can next through everything, get your passwords in, and you're all set. Now, one of the things you do have to avoid is, again, the QNAP OS. And I'll show you that once we get into that one particular section. I'm not necessarily going to install the entire operating system because I already did, but I will show you that one section of the hard drive where you want to try to avoid or slow down and read what you're trying to do so you don't accidentally delete the QNAP OS. All right, so here we go. What a good judge of character is as far as installing Linux operating systems is you can actually play around with the live environment to see what it supports and what doesn't. In our case, I already know what's going on, so I'm just going to skip through this whole section and just get to the point where I was talking about with the hard drives. So I'm going to hit select, clean install, get over here. And as you can see, there are a couple of hard drives in here. Now, the first one is my SSD. So you could tell by doing SDA or SDB, that's your SSD or your hard drive that you installed. Also, this says 240 gigabytes with SSD 1. This is my SanDisk Cruiser Blade, which is the USB I'm running off right now for the installer. I got my Samsung Evo 960 right over here. Then the rest is pretty much your operating system for QNAP, and it is locked down, so I can't install because it's 0 hard drive space. But yeah, try to avoid them. If you are seeing them, do not delete them. Basically, at this point, you just choose the hard drive you want to install, and in my case, it's the NVMe. Erase and install, follow the prompts, and then it'll get you to the operating system installed onto your NVMe. Now, it does boot up fairly quick. I don't know if you saw that, but it just blinked for a second, and then now I'm in my Pop! OS environment, and yeah, there we have it. You can essentially just use this as a normal desktop. I've been playing around with this for the past 4 or 5 days, and I've installed tons of stuff on here. So the system specs that you're going to see right now might not reflect what it actually is, because I did install Chrome and other applications that doesn't come default with Pop! OS. But I'm only using about 1.2 gigabytes of RAM on first boot. I got 4 gigs total with a 4 gig swap, and you can see it got all 4 CPUs. And if I go into the file system, you are able to see that NVMe. Now, if you wanted to see all the hard drives, I could actually go into disk right over here, and you got the SD card reader, which is the QNAP OS. You got the 250 gigabyte Evo, 204 gigabyte SSD. So we basically could see all the hard drives in here, no hardware problems. Now, what's cool is because it's got 2 NICs, I'm also able to go into the settings and also see both the NICs. You see this one is connected, EPN2S0 and EPN3S0. So both the 2.5 gigabit Ethernets are hooked up, and you could actually detect them. Now, again, this is not a powerhouse. It is running quad core. It is able to do a lot of desktop installation stuff, but office work, you could say. But games are going to be like iffy on this because the graphic card's only, I think, a UHD 630 or something like that. Anyway, checking out YouTube for Novaspirit Tech. Playing videos on this guy is absolutely fine. I have no issues with this playing videos. So you could definitely be able to play the video that you want to play. Full screen. Let me switch it over to HD 1080. So yeah. So it's not having any issues playing with, let's go over here, stats for nerds. It doesn't have any problems or drop frames just playing with any videos, and it actually is pretty smooth. This operating system runs pretty good on here. What I also did try to install just to test out the virtualization was Android. So I do have Android running on this guy as well because it allows for Intel virtualization technology. This way I'm able to play or install Android operating system because of that. And here we have it. I was trying to play around with some stuff. That's why I have this installed. One, for the installation for 2022 is slightly different. So when I tried to install it, I had to go jump through a lot of hoops, which I will be making a video in the future. That's kind of why I'm testing it on this guy. So you will see Android on Linux video coming up soon. Otherwise, it is working and I got it to work and it works great. I was able to use Magix. If you guys are familiar with rooting phones and you need to hide the root, that's another thing you need to install. Anyway, that is it. The operating system works pretty good if you want this to be a mini PC for you guys. So yeah, give it a try. All right, so one of the best parts about being able to install operating systems on here, not only you can install Windows and also install Linux, you can also install operating systems like OMV or FreeNAS. So if you don't like the QNAP OS that you have pre-built into this guy or the TerraMaster OS, you can essentially install FreeNAS and run a better NAS solution that will utilize the drives, which will benefit everybody if you are more interested in trying to get it to work a little bit better than what QNAP ships or what TerraMaster ships. I just decided to turn this into a desktop because it's easier visually to show you guys what it is about. But yeah, you can install any operating system you want afterwards and just run it the way you want. Anyway, that is it for me, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you guys have any questions about this, hit it down in the comments below. Again, remember to join my Discord. We're trying to build the Discord to be a lot bigger, so this way you guys could ask more questions and figure out what you want to do or make it, maybe even take it to the next step. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, consider subscribing and also hitting that bell notification icon so you know when the next video is going to be out. And as I say in my nerd cave, hack till it hurts.